Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Dr. Aviona here, a doctor of physical therapy. We are going to make use of an AI software that can make you efficient as an evidence-based practitioner. And if you've ever done a systematic review or a literature review, you can already know it can be brutal. We are talking thousands of articles, hours of screening, spreadsheet nightmares, and that nagging fear, did I miss something important? Yeah, we've all been there. But what if I told you there's a tool that can save you hours, keep you organized, and make the whole process actually manageable? Let me introduce you to Rayyan. And this is not a sponsor video. This is a smart streamline built just for evidence-based practitioners and researchers like you and me. And today we are breaking down how Rayyan works, why it's so useful, and how it can seriously upgrade your workflow. Let's dive in. Before we get into what Rayyan does, let's talk about the problem it solves. Literature reviews aren't just read a few pages and summarize it, right? You're dealing with search strategy, development, and massive reference imports, duplicate checking, title and abstract screening, and inclusion and exclusion tagging, notes, comments, decision tracking, and collaboration, sometimes with multiple reviewers. Even with tools like EndNote or Zotero, it's easy to get overwhelmed. It's slow, it's messy, and it takes a lot of your time. That's exactly why Rayyan exists. Rayyan is a web-based tool, also available as an app, and that help researchers conduct systematic reviews, literature reviews more efficiently. So it helps you import and organize your references, screen articles faster, collaborate with your team, track decisions, and even get AI-powered suggestions. So it's simple, it's powerful, and best of all, it's designed specifically for researchers doing reviews. So this is not just another reference manager. Rayyan is built to save your time. And that is what most important for evidence-based practitioners like you and me. And I think that's also very helpful for everyone who is on the streamline of getting to know what's going on, and I can help you with some few examples I have already created. All right, let's go through the features that make Rayyan a must-have. Over to the screen. All right, guys, this is my evidence-based template, and as you can see here, this is a guide to clinical decision making, and this is my clinical scenario. And then these are the differential diagnoses that I need to fill out. My PICO, population, intervention, comparison, and outcome, and my clinical question right after. The citation, reference citation, and summary of key findings, and my comments. So I think it's very important to know what I can fill out. So first things first, I just have to write in my clinical scenario. And basically, this clinical scenario, let me read through this with you. The patient is a 42-year-old female who presents with right shoulder dysfunction following a resistance training session 10 days ago. She reports that during a seated chest press with dumbbells, she experienced a mild sensation of weakness in the right shoulder after several repetitions. She did not experience any pain at the time and completed her workout without any issues or 0 to 10 pain. Currently, she demonstrates limited active shoulder flexion and abduction in seated upright position. However, passive range of motion is full and pain-free in all planes. Active shoulder flexion is full when assessed in supine position, suggesting possible muscular inhibition or scapular dyskinesis rather than structural joint limitation. Glenohumeral external and internal rotations are within normal limits, and she also reports a sensation of tightness localized to the right upper trapezius region. Clinical presentation is consistent with possible rotator cuff inhibition, like example, isolated supraspinatus, involvement or neural inhibition pattern, mild scapular dyskinesis or subclinical nerve involvement, suprascapular nerve, and then further evaluation is warranted to rule out neuromuscular causes and assess thoracic control during active elevation. The first thing that I would write down here is my differential diagnosis with this patient. So there's a lot of differential diagnosis that you can put on here. Differential diagnosis of scapular inhibition. But I was also thinking of thoracic inhibition, and then I would say long thoracic nerve affectation, or because that's the only way that I can think that there might be affected for maybe scapular wing or stratus anterior injury. I could also say scapular nerve irritation, or long thoracic nerve involvement, or I would say involvement of the SA or serratus anterior muscle. Okay, and then follow through with early stage of functional instability, shoulder instability. So this is like maybe like frozen shoulder for some reason. Okay. And then I have to fill out this area where population, or I should say this could be a patient. So this would be, in my scenario, it would be a 42-year-old female. So 42-year-old female. My intervention would be manual therapy, neurostim, and I think this is what I've discussed on episodes, um, the MPS, and then some of them could be a lot more than this one. It could be um, isometric, a comparison to shoulder movement limitation, or scapular nerve suprascapular nerve, or yeah, suprascapular nerve entrapment. And then the outcome would be appropriate diagnosis for this patient. I would say appropriate diagnosis and management to restore shoulder function. So the clinical question I created, it's 40-year-old adult with sudden painless loss of active shoulder flexion and abduction, but passive range of motion and normal in supine positions could be is long thoracic nerve more likely than other shoulder or cervical pathology. So those are my opinion and my clinical questions. So let's go ahead and take a look at Ryan. I'm leaning towards long thoracic nerve injury. Some people might say that could be cervical, but there could be like a different diagnosis that we have here. And that's why we're doing research based on or using Ryan to help quickly understand what's going on with this patient. First things first is you kind of save all these things that you assume that this could be a very good of a help. So you're going to click on that and hit save, and then save it as a CSV or a PubMed. So for me, I would just do a CSV and create a file. So it will automatically create an Excels over here. And then I'll go to Google Scholar and type in long thoracic nerve. And then from there, you hit the star button over here and you click on the reading list and hit done. You keep going. Oh, sorry. Hit and save it on the reading list. Thoracic, reading list, long thoracic, reading list, and then um, let me add more. So these are just an example. So from there, you can start clicking on My Library. So you already have all these things, and you're going to click on Export All, and you will create a CSV. So the CSV is also like this. So finally, we have all these two together, and we're going to import that on Ryan. So let's go ahead. So now we're here, and I created a review, and then I type in my title, Long Thoracic Nerve Injury, and describe it. I click a systematic review, and I also click not applicable, and then now it's time for me to upload. So I click the upload, I select the file, and by the way, these are the format that you can use while you're clicking on the things that you have to download on. So it needs to be an EndNote export, RefMed or RIS, CSV, BibTeX, PubMed, XML, NextPubMed, and Web of Science and zip. So you select the file. These are the files that you're going to download. So you're going to control and open, and then you have to. So you continue, and then from there, successful, you just have to click on finish. And then when you click, these are things that you can now go on review the data. So these are the data. So overview of the data, and what you can see will review the data. And then from reviewing each data here, you're going to click possibility, detect duplicates, and you would say proceed. So they're progressing. So you detect duplicates and they're progressing, and it will kind of let you know if there's any duplicates from the 15 that you have picked on. But luckily, there's no duplicate, unresolved. These are unresolved long thoracic screening. So when we screen, we decided to which one would we include. So this is when long thoracic nerve palsy, when is the compression indicated. So exclude them. So that's excluded. Serratus anterior palsy secondary to long thoracic nerve dysfunction. I don't think it was a dysfunction. So I'm going to exclude that one. And then from there, you would say nerve of thoracic kinetic clinical signs, imaging findings of pathological conditions. So include this. And then next one is long thoracic nerve, include. And the next one will be nerve injury, shoulder in athletes. I love this. This would be included. And then long thoracic anatomy and functional assessment. I love that because I'm wanting to find what assessment tool would I be using. Next is long thoracic nerve, possible mechanism of injury based on autopsy study. Well, the patient is not yet dead, so I don't think so. So I will exclude that. And then number 8, microneurolysis and decompression of long thoracic nerve effective in reversing scapular ringing long terms. Results in 50 cases. No, exclude. Long thoracic nerve injury, I will include that because that's what I assume. Anatomy, etiology, and management of scapular winging. So there's no winging in that scenario, so I'm going to exclude that for this. And then from there, sono anatomy revisited long thoracic nerve. No, I don't think so. And then iatrogenic, long thoracic nerve scapular winging in posterior spinal fusion surgery. I don't think so. We are not doing surgery on that patient. Long thoracic nerve palsy, when is the compression indicated? Exclude. You have 2 more long thoracic nerve due to no, not burn. And then nerve injury to laryngeal, phrenic, and vagus and long thoracic sympathetic during surgery. Okay. So everything is done. So we will go ahead and proceed. Full text screening. Alright. So, so these are all the things that I decided on, and these 3 I will look into and read. So you just have to click on the import. So this is the full screen, and until to the point where you can just like, okay, this is what I'm looking at. So these 5 articles are my references to address the issues of the patients. So what's the real world impact of Rayyan? Let's break it down. Time savings. Some users report saving 20, 30, even 40 hours during screening process. And last, bias. Blinded reviewing and structured tagging make your process more objective and reproducible. Smoother collaborations, remote teams, no problem. Rayyan makes multi-reviewer projects easier to manage. Better organization instead of bouncing between tools. Rayyan keeps everything in one place, clean and clear and searchable. Now, the question is Rayyan for everyone? If you're doing a quick scan of recent articles, maybe you don't need it. But if you're working on a systematic review, scoping review, meta-analysis, or critical appraisal, or rapid evidence assessment, then yes, Rayyan is absolutely worth your time, especially if you are juggling a big team, tight deadlines, or just want to stay sane while managing hundreds of studies. The best part, it's free to get started. No expensive license required. So I think this is a good tool for evidence-based practitioners. So if you are that someone who likes to structure your foundations in doing all literature reviews and for your case to figure out what assessment or interventions you can provide for your clients or your patients, then this is your tool for you. So let's recap. Rayyan is easy to use, powerful for teams, and smart enough to learn as you go, and built specifically for evidence-based practitioners or researchers. Whether you're a student, clinicians, or full-time academic, Rayyan helps you focus on what matters most, the quality of your review. So if you've been a big project coming up or you're middle of the review that makes you lose sleep, try Rayyan. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And if this helped you out, give us a like, subscribe, and more research tips, and drop a comment. Have you tried Rayyan, or what's the worst part of doing systematic review? Let's talk. Until next time, stay productive, stay curious, and keep that reference list clean. See you soon. Bye. Peace out.